Phillips here to respond, FBI Deputy Director, old friend of the program. Dan Bongino's back. Dan, great to have you. Thank you for taking time. We appreciate it. Okay, I think one of the big takeaways from today is you did not find any new evidence. It was all there, had been there for the longest period of time. The only difference between you and Director Wray and the Biden DOJ is they did not prioritize it. Why? And I know it wasn't easy to solve, but you did it in 8 months.
Yeah. Sean, I don't know what the hell this prior leadership team was doing outside of, targeting political opponents, weaponizing the FBI, destroying its reputation, embarrassing agents that are doing really good work out there, catching terrorists, CCP spies, and everyone else. It's almost like they were intentionally trying to decimate faith in institutions. It's horrifying. I don't know what they were doing. I can tell you what happened, though, when we got there, the director and I. My first meeting, I swore in, and I kid you not, probably 15 minutes later, and the people who are in the meeting know, I said, when I get in there, I want a full brief on this pipe bomber case on day one. And I looked at the case agent after getting a full brief on what they'd done, and they had done a pretty extensive amount of work. They had chased down, I think, thousands of leads, 6,000 plus interviews had been conducted, hundreds of tips, and it still was relatively stale, the case. And I grabbed the case agent on the way out, and I said, "You're going to get me this guy. You're going to track this guy down, and you're going to find him. You're going to get me this guy. I want him." And that started what's been almost a 9-month operation right now to make sure that we could get full accountability and transparency to the American public and find this guy. And today we did. But Sean, I have to add this because this is really important. You've heard all the cliches, team effort. You hear it all the time in sports. I said it today at the presser, but I want to emphasize this. This was a team. Judge Jeanine, Deputy Attorney General Blanche, people you and I know very well, AG Bondi. You cannot do anything in the FBI without DOJ process, subpoenas, drawn paper, search warrants, complaints, arrest warrants. Who do you think does that? It's not just us. We're the investigators. They're the lawyers. So that team, from day one, I told Pam and Todd, I said, hey, Cash and Cash could not have been more supportive. He's like, Dan, go for it. They said, whatever you need. And their attorneys over there were amazing on this case. So don't just throw the team effort thing out like it's just a standard cliche. I mean it. They really did a great job.
New York Post reporting that this suspect, Brian Cole, had possible anarchist leanings. I have other contacts that spoke with people that lived in the neighborhood, that knew him. Any evidence at this point that you can tell us, any anti-ICE sentiment, any anti-police sentiment, any radicalization or evidence of radicalization that you and the team, to quote you, are finding and that you're seeing at this point?
Well, the assistant director in charge of the Washington field office is an absolute manhunter. Darren, you saw him at the press conference today. In just the last couple of months, he's had to deal with the tragic National Guard shooting, Washington Safe Streets program. He's been dealing with this case and other public interest cases as well. I say that because this was a lengthy investigation. This did not just happen yesterday. We've been doing this for a while. As legal process starts to come out and filter out into the public space, you may see some more stuff tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of it, but you'll see more. And I want to be very clear with the public. This is chapter 1 of a 10-20 chapter book. This investigation is not over at all. The investigation has just begun. We've interviewed the subject at length. We are still going through an enormous amount of process, accounts. So it would be very early for me to get out ahead of that on motive. I mean, obviously the motive was to drop a couple bombs and, that could have killed people. But what the actual ideology and motivation, I want to be cautious that this gets done correctly. And sometimes smooth is fast.
You know, I don't know if you remember this. This is before you became the deputy FBI director. You put a post on X right after this happened, and you said there's a massive cover-up because the person that planted those pipe bombs, they don't want you to know who it is because it's either a connected anti-Trump insider or an inside job. You said that you know, long before you were even thought of as deputy FBI director.
Yeah, that's why I said to you, this investigation's just begun. We are pretty comfortable. We have our guy. I think again, legal process starts to surface and information, facts start to come out. The public's going to be very comfortable with the investigation that was conducted under Director Patel and his leadership. He's been great on this. But I don't want to, listen, I was paid in the past, Sean, for my opinions. That's clear. And one day I'll be back in that space. But that's not what I'm paid for now. I'm paid to be your deputy director. And we base investigations on facts. And, it was interesting. I was looking out in the crowd today at the presser, and I saw a couple of media figures who you and I both know who promoted the other scandal, the collusion hoax. And I thought to myself, the difference between us and them is, we evolve. As information and new inputs come out, we can produce different outputs because that's what we believe in. We believe in facts and investigations guided by facts. There were people out there in that crowd, I'm sure still believe in this collusion fairy tale hoax. So we'll see. We're going to be guided by the facts as this thing goes forward. And I can't stop the, leave the truck here without thanking the president. The president, very well, just like I do. Sean, he told us early, I said it on your show before, I'm going to say it again. He was like, boys, you go get him. This president absolutely hates crime. He hates the idea of someone causing a national security crisis in his city in Washington, D.C. He could not have been more supportive about these investigations. And I'll tell you, a weaker leader would have been like, you know what? We didn't find him. It's a stale case. Do we have other priorities? Nope.
Well,
Nope, not this president.
Well, I mean, cocaine in the White House has a lot. Let me ask you this. July 26, you wrote that what you have learned in the course of you becoming deputy FBI director has shocked you to your core, down to your core. We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned. And I want to ask the question through this prism. And I texted you right after you put that out, and I said, okay, now you're scaring me, because I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
You didn't say that lightly, did you?
Scared me. No, I mean, I never really told this story before, but I was sitting in the office on a Friday night. It was very late. One of us is always a late and early guy, me or Director Patel. So it was, I don't know, it was 7 o'clock or so. And there was no one around. It was a Friday, and I was just reading some of the Crossfire stuff that, we had seen. And I got to tell you, I was just horrified. I don't know, it's just stuck in my crutch stuff. And I've written books on this. I'm pretty well versed in what happened in multiple books on this. But when you see it from the other side, it was just different. I mean, what these people in prior administrations did to this country, Sean, to, decimate and destroy faith in these institutions. And I just hesitate to think of where we would be right now with a different president in charge. I really do. I don't.
We know
we may not have a republic.
We know the answer.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
I mean, that's why, and that's why that next day I woke up and I just, I probably should have, but it was just I couldn't get it out of my head what they did to just destroy this beautiful place we call home. And Cash and I were absolutely committed to this reforming this place and getting faith in these institutions back. I can tell you right now, you played that clip of him before. Director Patel has changed out the entire leadership team. Some of the people we have in charge right now, I swear to you, these are absolute manhunters. They've locked up 30,000 violent criminals. The murder rate has cratered so low, and we're not done. I told the guys that there's some headline in New York Post today. It's going to be crimes at an all-time low in New York. I said, it's not good enough. I said, back again. We're going again. We're doing another roundup. And then when we're done with that, we're doing another one. I said, you know what the acceptable crime rate is? 0. That's the acceptable crime rate. And this president could not be more supportive. I'm telling you, go get him, boys. He says it all the time. And he means it. Wow. He drives around these. What do you think he's doing this for? You think he's doing it to get reelected? You think he's doing it for politics? These are blue cities. He hates crime. He can't. It drives him crazy. And he wants it solved. And and Cash and I are committed to doing it.
Well, I'm grateful, and I know many other Americans are grateful to the team and everybody that you mentioned. Dan, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
পাগলি রে তুই প্রেম শিখাইয়া পাগল বানাইলি, দেহ থইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। পাগলি রে তুই প্রেম শিখাইয়া পাগল বানাইলি, দেহ থইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। এখন আমার মনটা পুরে কয়লা হয়েছে, জানি না রে কাহার প্রেমে মুগ্ধ রয়েছি। পাগলি রে তুই প্রেম শিখাইয়া পাগল বানাইলি, দেহ তুইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। কেউ পুরে প্রেম আগুনে, কেউ বা তুষের আগুন। প্রেম আগুনে মন পুরে যার চলে আরো দ্বিগুণ। কেউ পুরে প্রেম আগুনে, কেউ বা তুষের আগুন। প্রেম আগুনে মন পুরে যার চলে আরো দ্বিগুণ। কোন আগুনে পুরাইলি তুই করলি বেইমানি, দেহ তুইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। পাগলি রে তুই প্রেম শিখাইয়া পাগল বানাইলি, দেহ তুইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। প্রেমের আগুন যার অন্তরে, সেই জানে তার ব্যথা। পাগল হইয়া পাগল বেশে কয় যে প্রেমের কথা। প্রেমের আগুন যার অন্তরে, সেই জানে তার ব্যথা। পাগল হইয়া পাগল বেশে কয় যে প্রেমের কথা। সেই অন্তরে আঘাত দিবি আগে বুঝিনি, দেহ তুইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। পাগলি রে তুই প্রেম শিখাইয়া পাগল বানাইলি, দেহ তুইয়া কেন রে তুই মনটা পোড়াইলি। আহা হা 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 হা, লা 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 লা।